My expectations were that I would help young people, help people. I would never use that word help for social work now. Support, guide, stand beside is the sort of work. But I would help people to change their lives. So and then as I studied, the whole advocate role became more important to me. I could see how you would help people to help themselves, support people to help themselves, and also make sure the systems were able to respond to them. So that advocacy role for me became important. But also what I learned is to translate my gut that said something's not right here, this is what this person needs, into practice that was helpful for that person, not just making me feel better. So what I would say to people is if you can volunteer, if you can make sure you get your work experiences, I'm not sure you can go straight from school to university to a career without quite a lot of practical experience, and it definitely worked for me. I took that year out. I had my place secured, I just deferred it. I knew where I was going. I was the better for it. In all my probation, if we look at the probation roles I had, there was always these older, fairly close to retirement, often women, not always, but mainly women, who were just knew what they were doing and had so much experience, but were so really generous with it. So you talk about men, and I can think of a couple of women in particular when I was in Hackney, in northeast London, who were real pinko, liberal, radical lefties, and just were complete heroes, because they were all about what that person needs, and we will do whatever needs to be done within our remit to do it. And I just loved watching them and learnt so much from them, and then that's when my union work took off. Just loved all that. So it was very informal. So I had a couple of really good line managers, but I had a couple of really good colleagues who acted as informal mentors. And like I said, the union is where you remembered what your job was, and again, I loved all that. Because I do remember popping in someone's office going, I've just had somebody come in with this issue. You know, where will I go to get them help or whatever? So it's really important. That team, that collegiate approach was so important to me, because when I was down, hopefully somebody was a little bit up, had capacity and could cover for me. And then when they were down, I would be able to pick up a little bit of their slack. And we knew, and when you work together and you see each other every day, you knew when it was happening intuitively. And I just loved all that. I worked in a day centre with young people, and we were co-working, and it was, it was just brilliant. And even to this day, I have an open door in my office, and I love being around people. I love working with people. And I think it came from that team working. You can't do it on your own. Even if you're working with individuals, you can't do this job on your own. If I think about children's social work, I want people to get into children's social work. But it's because I'm a social worker, and I'm proud to be a social worker. And the only way I can have that label of social work is that I have that registration number. Also, it's really helped, particularly when I'm challenging social work and social workers, I can say I'm still registered. That's not why I did it. But I'm glad I did, because it has helped. Children and young people who are living in families who are vulnerable and who have adverse childhood experience need social workers. And they need them to stick with you. They need you to stick with them, is what I would say. Please come in. We need to fix the social work system so that social workers are properly supported. We can't work and improve the outcomes for our children with adverse childhood experiences without social workers. It cannot be done. So in my job as Children's Commission, when I think of the most vulnerable, I can't see those solutions without social workers.